This is one of the most screwed up parts of the United States. Parents have no rights. Parents have no rights.
America, what if I told you that the federal government crafted a vile incentive scheme, letting states rake in profits by ripping children from their loving parents' arms, bankrupting those families, and wielding lawfare to silence their desperate cries for justice? Would you believe me? Would you call me a conspiracy theorist?
Child Protection Services is legally kidnapping their children.
It's not a service organization at all. It is a quasi-law enforcement prosecutorial agency, and all the funding goes to removing children.
Stop stealing our babies!
The Adoption and Safe Families Act and other budgetary incentives and bureaucratic quirks effectively place a bounty on the heads of children suitable for adoption.
It's a for-profit scheme. The more kids, the more money.
Their agencies get additional money. The family court gets additional money.
I was ordered by the judge not to speak to the media.
When you have secrecy and unchecked power, you have a recipe for corruption and abuse.
They are incentivized to essentially traffic these children.
America, what if I told you that Child Protective Services is operating the world's largest government-backed, taxpayer-funded child trafficking network, and the very system designed to safeguard our children are the ones robbing them of their futures?
I was depressed most of my life. I was sad because of what Child Protective Services has done to my life.
You traumatized me!
It's unethical and it's immoral.
CPS is the only state agency with the power to walk into any family's home at any time and remove children.
We're CPS. We don't need a warrant.
This is something that happens far too frequently. CPS oversteps its bounds
in the best interest of the children. That's a catchphrase that's used by CPS to justify any action that they take.
There's so many incentives that are financial, but there's a lot of other illicit stuff that happens to kids in custody.
The social workers in America and in Europe took hundreds of thousands of children from Christian families and gave them to pedophiles.
All of the child services agencies that initially started out in the service of children becomes an organization that is in fact hunting children.
Our children are the target, and millions of people in government, education, our healthcare systems, our child protective systems are complicit in the agenda.
Pedophilia is how the deep state recruits and controls people.
From the powerful elites down to otherwise ordinary men, children are easily being bought and abused around the world.
500,000 kids per year are removed by this child trafficking organization from their parents.
Many disappear and never are ever heard from again.
Once the public realizes that the government is not protecting their children, then everything else about the government is called into question.
Evil can exist only if the good do nothing to stop it.
We would know virtually nothing about what's going on at our southern border were it not for independent journalists and grassroots filmmakers.
Matta, he's the investigative journalist behind ThisIsTreason.com.
Ryan Matta and his team, his editing team, created what I believe is a unicorn, never to be seen. Has never been seen and will never be seen again.
But he released it, and it's called What is Treason? Trafficked.
It is the most powerful piece of filmmaking I have ever seen.
By the way, was really well done.
If everybody were to watch a documentary, What is Treason? #trafficked, if everybody watched that, all 300 plus million Americans, Trump would win like this. I don't know why it's not the number one issue. Every time I come back from an operation,
not doing anything
I'm just
about
incensed when I read the news, like what made the headlines. The headlines every day should be, millions of kids are enslaved, and the United States is driving the market with their policies.
My work revolves around rescuing sex-trafficked children. The only way to combat this evil is sunlight. We must expose the system that allows these monsters to stay hidden in the shadows. America is the #1 consumer of child porn, and we have more agents working in the PR department at every FBI field office than we do hunting down these predators who are selling child porn on the internet. I wonder why America is the #1 consumer of child rape.
It is as sinister as it gets. People buying or selling children for sex.
An awful situation now.
To really drive this fact home, last year Alex Rosen, one man, was able to expose 248 pedophiles. The entire FBI only arrested 1,408, meaning one man with the right resources could take down more pedophiles than the entire FBI. This is why I need your support. I've dedicated the last 3 years of my life to exposing this evil. Over the past 8 months, I've released 6 full-length Netflix-quality documentaries showing how the United States government is running the world's largest government-sponsored, taxpayer-funded child trafficking syndicate. I cashed out $100,000 of my 401k to undertake this mission, turning me into the most censored filmmaker in America. I am permanently banned on LinkedIn, demonetized on 3 YouTube channels, had 3 Instagram accounts deleted, lost 2 Twitter accounts, and I'm on my 12th TikTok account. The censorship industrial complex has cut off every source of funding that I could use to generate income. I placed my first film behind a paywall. We made over $125,000 in sales, but the film didn't reach the masses.
This is one of the things that, you know, in everybody's mindset, I mean, from A to Z and for the past 20 years, I'm unsuccessful and I'm a useless idiot and whatever because I don't have any money. I got my noggin and I got done a lot of research and oh lordy lord, I have names and I have lawsuits that make me trillionaire, richest woman in the world. So, you know, this whole thing of I can't make a difference because I'm not rich, or that if Trump found out about all of this, this would end. No, see, this is what people are not understanding. Trump is Wall Street. Trump is a product of New York, Wall Street, going back to the Gilded Age. He's a nouveau riche. He wants to please the Wall Street. You know, the Astors and the Vanderbilts and the Mellons and the DuPonts and the you know, we see these names coming up all the time. My big beef is the singer Seigert family, Marianne Seigert from Austria. So yeah, I mean, this whole thing of give me money, give me money, give me money, and we're going to solve the problems. You're not understanding. We need to stop. I mean, here we keep on. Biggest consumer of drugs, biggest consumer of child porn, biggest consumer of this. I mean, the addictions in this country have got to stop. The rest of the world's following suit, but we are at the lead.
Give these films away for free to wake up the masses and save these children. It was God who sent me on this mission. Now I'm asking you for help to continue God's mission. Please visit givesendgo.com/Ryan Matta Films and support this cause. For $100,000, we can continue to operate for an entire year producing 4 more documentaries. For $1 million, my voice would become so loud that I could force this administration to undertake radical reform and bring home over 50% of the kidnapped children in America.
We know that there was upwards to
be able to solve. No, it's, you know, with all due respect, Ryan Matta, it's more than just a money problem. And as I say, with all due respect, and I understand the financial, I mean, I live in a shithole. The reason that the resolution is so bad on my computer is this is the cheapest I can get where I can still stream online. So yeah, I'm concentrating less on the trappings and more on the substance.
For 300,000 children that were lost.
During the Biden administration, HHS became a collaborator in child trafficking and for sex and for slavery.
As of today, there are currently 300,000 missing migrant children, and roughly 460,000 American children vanish every year. America is the last country that you want your child lost in.
There's a lot of people that don't know that this is real. They think that this is too far from them. It's happening next door, behind your house.
One of the great mistakes is to judge policies and programs by their intentions rather than their results. We all know a famous road that is paved with good intentions.
No government ever voluntarily reduces itself in size. So government programs once launched never disappear. Actually, a government bureau is the nearest thing to eternal life we'll ever see on this earth.
Breaking news. Governments are corrupt. They lie to their people, steal from their people, and occasionally kill them.
The deep state is too deep. The federal government is too powerful. The agencies are too big. Look, I'm talking to members of Congress that are telling me they have no control over most of these agencies. In fact, Some of these agencies have control over the congressman.
They hide behind their badges, their acronyms, and their untouchable authority. These three-letter agencies carved into the marble of power, sold to us as protectors of the public good. But peel back the veneer, what do you find? Corruption, betrayal, and a system of weaponized government that is against you, the very people.
And a bunch of snot-nosed brat kids who give attitude to us pissed off housewives. Now, if you would get some little civil servants who are afraid of us, who, you know, if I pick up the phone, and I mean, freaking A, I know these people. I used to work for Senator Bennett Johnston. I mean, the Democrats of Louisiana totally lost it. I mean, the bogs have been a problem, and I mean, that's another video, and that gets into the DC swamp. But the bogs are from Louisiana, Johnston's from Louisiana, Landrieu's still here, Daryl Owen from Bennett Johnston's office is here, John Breaux is here. I mean, you know, we've got to drain the swamp. And I'm sick and tired of, you know, the rhetoric. Yeah, lots and lots and lots of rhetoric. Oh, but no, we can't touch that one. We can't touch that one. I mean, bullshit. Get rid of all of these law firms in D.C.
Well, they claim to serve.
And this is so important for people to understand. When the government does something evil, when the government does something wicked, they cloak it. They hide it behind these little anecdotal pieces of evidence that show, look, we're doing something good.
Take USAID, the United States Agency for International Development. Billions funneled through its coffers, branded as humanitarian salvation. Food for the starving, schools for the poor, hope for the hopeless. That's the story.
Nobody likes it.
Dig a little deeper, and the truth bleeds out.
USAID is one of the most disturbing organizations in the entire federal government.
It is a system that began under good intentions. However, the system morphed into a giant progressive money laundering operation.
Funds siphoned to warlords, aid weaponized to prop up regimes that crush their own people. Reports buried, whistleblowers silenced.
It's been the Norm Eisen slush fund to run money to media organizations, to street protesters, to bribe governments in order to control the prosecutors.
It's all encompassing.
I love street protesters. One of the things that you'll find in Washington if you come here are canvassers. And everybody hates the canvassers because they want money from you. And everybody in, you know, Washington, well, this is Northwest, already, you know, in their through their companies and stuff, they give money to all of these things. So it's a really tough job for the canvassers. So they're really obnoxious. And so most people like avoid the canvassers and like walk away from them, and I'll just be pulling out my business card and I'm like, okay, if I listen to you, you're gonna have to listen to me. And then I'll go, okay, if you go on to ProPublica, what are you, Save International Children or something like that, Amnesty International, that's another one that's always here. Oh gosh, there's the regular ones, and then you find some others. So anyway, I'm like, I start lecturing the kids on the nonprofit that they're asking money for, and I'm like, you know how much that CEO earns, and you know what they've been doing all of these years, and really what they're actually doing is here. So either they get real pissed off, or they take an interest. But I didn't shut them up. It's so funny because the thing is most people don't want, you know, like they'll see a canvasser and they'll go away because they don't want to engage, and they don't want to have to say, oh, no, I can't contribute today. I go out and we're like, oh, I'm not giving you any money, and I'll explain to you why. Here's my card.
It's everywhere.
It's a giant money laundering scheme.
We terminated the left-wing money laundering scam known as USAID. How about the money that was going out?
USAID isn't just a failure. It's a masterclass in orchestrated deception, a government-backed machine that thrives on chaos while cloaked in virtue.
So I think using USAID is a perfect example to use, because what do you have with USAID? Well, we know for a fact that USAID is this gigantic money laundering system and organization. It's designed so that people can take money, funnel it to whatever cause they want to funnel to, back to politicians, to corrupt organizations, corrupt government agencies around the world, NGOs, what have you, giving it back to one another. It's just a giant machine of pure corruption.
But does it do some good as well?
It is some good. So it's like it's not like 0% good. If it was really 0% good, it'd be much easier to detect. So there's going to be some percent good that they add in there. But it's like it might be 5% or 10% good, but 95% not.
Generous. So if you put something out there that has something that's a little bit good, you can hide a huge mess of wickedness behind it. People don't like nuance. They don't like detail. They want everything to be good or everything to be bad. There's a good guy and a bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a good guy who has bad parts to him. That's too complicated. Or a bad guy who has good parts. Oh, that's too complicated. Don't mess with the nuance. I want just the good and the bad, black and the white.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like the gray, because that's where things get hidden.
I mean, there's corruption. They have saved tens of millions of lives.
Show me anywhere where USAID has had a positive effect on international aid. It just doesn't. It's just going to corrupt foreign leaders.
I mean,
even if USAID is going to be slimmed down, it's a fantastic organization, and it's so tragic if we stop that.
And Bill Gates has given away.
I mean, Bill Gates. If Bill Gates says so, of course it's true.
A lot of money. He's saved probably 100 million lives. Distribute anti-HIV drugs, malaria drugs, education for girls. Elon Musk will probably cost 20 million lives from the cuts that he's made on USAID when he was head of Doge.
This is the playbook. Build a system too big to question, too sacred to touch. Hide the rot behind noble missions and patriotic seals. And when the cracks start to show, bury them.
What my team and I encountered was absolute obstruction and lies coming out of USAID. They did everything possible to stop me from accessing their records to understand where our taxpayer money was going.
12 cents of every dollar was reaching the recipient. That means that in order for us to get, aid to somebody, we had to spend all this other money supporting this foreign aid industrial complex.
When they said, oh, well, this is going to help children, or it's going to help some disease eradication or something like that. And then when we asked for any evidence whatsoever, I say, well, please connect us with this group of children so we can talk to them and understand more about their issue. We get nothing. Because what we find is an enormous amount of fraud and graft.
Well, 4 people are pleading guilty, all part of a $500 million bribery scandal involving USAID.
The scheme, spanning a decade, involved $550 million in federal contracts through a Small Business Administration program.
But here's the problem. Walter Barnes III, the man who founded one of these companies that got the cash, was a known con man. And the government knew he was shady for years, even before they gave him all the money.
USAID is a blueprint, a case study on how deeply corruption can run when power goes unchecked. But it's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning. Because there's a machine far darker, far more insidious, and it's operating in plain sight. A system that doesn't just betray a nation, it preys on the most vulnerable among us. Child Protective Services, also known as CPS.